It's time for another crazy mail call video from uxwbill. Now this is a concerted effort. This is a collaborative effort between the Keykeeper and I both. So if you're not watching his channel, and that channel is Walsh Monster 2005, you need to head on over there. You're not going to have the complete story, and Paul Harvey would not be very happy with you.
And you'd be missing out on YouTube's best channel.
So anyway, the Keykeeper has been getting some complaints from people on his videos that they have a hard time hearing them. And being the nice folks that we are, we've decided to do something about it. We've approached our camcorder supplier in New Jersey. No, don't hurt your iPhone. And as usual, he's got us hooked up. So Keykeeper, go ahead and do the honors. Oh yeah, I got to point out that got a very nice care of right there. Okay, enough of that. Go for it. See what we got. See if there's any bonuses in there.
Bet you there is no.
Cut it on the tape seam. You're making it too hard on yourself.
I like making it hard on myself. I don't want to cut my camera, man.
No. Well, at least it's not a tonneau cover.
Yeah.
He's a lot more methodical about this than I am.
I don't use my car keys. I use a genuine frog sticker.
Alright.
I love the diversified packaging. Cardboard.
Hey, that's recycling,
paper.
man. Don't be dissing the recycling. Okay, what do we have there? I think that's probably your charger. Yep.
Bubble wrap.
That's a charger.
Why is it wrapped in a static bag?
Oh, and your tape's in there, too.
Oh, here's the mother load.
Yep.
I've waited all day to this.
Yeah, and you know, the sad thing is work passes by pretty slowly when you're waiting all day for something, doesn't it? Look at that. There you go. It's the same
sticker on it.
Yeah, yours is in a bit better shape, but it doesn't matter as long as they work. And you've got a lens cap.
Yeah, I have a lens cap.
So yeah, it's the same model I have, a DCR TRV280. Now, did he give you a printed book, or am I going to give you my printed book?
You're probably going to give me your printed book.
Yes, you should definitely read the book, because there's so much stuff that thing can do, and so many things to know about working it, more so than I talked about. So,
what's this little toggle switch here?
that's for focus. That's a diopter adjustment. If you were to wear glasses or something, or you found it was out of focus, you would use that to adjust the focusing of the viewfinder.
Very nice.
Without necessarily having to have any glasses on. Alright, let's see what you got here. I see an info lithium battery. Oh, and you know that camera outfit that Dad bought? He's got at least 3 of those we can steal if we ever have
awesome.
to.
And a charger.
Yep, he's got a charger, same as that. A digital 8 tape.
Now, knowing uxwbill, he'll steal this when his helpers lose his charger.
The elves.
The elves around here.
Let's go ahead and set this thing up for charging and we'll be right back.
Okay, it's time to plug it in now. Oh, I guess they have polarized plugs in New Jersey too. I hate them.
That's very nice. Alright. Hey, look at that. It's charging.
We're running uneconomically.
No, it's not a Cadillac. It's a Handycam.
It could be the Cadillac.
No, you would never mix up a Handycam with a Cadillac.
Yeah, Cadillac's way too luxurious.
It's also easier to lose a Handycam than it is a Cadillac. If your Cadillac disappears, you probably won't have to look for it very long unless somebody stole it, like my helpers do. So let's see, what do you have there?
You don't even have a Cadillac to steal.
No, it's terrible.
You got a rusty S10. Okay.
I would be very careful with that concept, because you don't want to spear the tape in a sort of divining rod move.
Plenty of them to steal out there too.
Oh, now he's breaking it.
Better drop the tape than the Handycam.
Alright, let's see what you have there. A Sony Digital 8 tape. Of course, the Keykeeper is not the only one who's got himself a new camcorder or two. Turns out around the thrift stores around here, apparently it's camcorder season. Now usually the selection of camcorders in the thrift stores around here, not very interesting. We're talking ancient VHS monstrosities that, apart from curiosity and demonstration to a younger audience, there really isn't much reason to buy. And unfortunately, they usually think they're worth a fortune. But over the past couple of months or so, I have dug up a few interesting things at the thrift store. This is the first one. This is probably also the best one, at least in terms of completeness. Somebody asked me in a YouTube video a while back if I had, or if the camcorder that I showed off from my VHS days was an RCA DSP3 series camcorder. And my answer to them is no, I don't think so. But this one sure is. And this one is exceptionally clean. This thing looks like it almost rolled right off the factory floor yesterday. And it works perfectly, except for the battery. As you can see, it is the DSP3 model. Has a 12 times zoom, built-in light, everything works. Color viewfinder. There is really not a mark on this thing. It has barely ever been used, and for $12.50 I couldn't really pass it up. I probably will use it. Funny thing is, it came with a tape in it, which is how I've got it figured that it didn't have very much use, because I see them unwrapping in this video. There's Christmas stuff on this video and winter stuff, baseball game, things like that. I might upload bits and pieces of it at some point in the future when I get my analog video capture stuff going. But this tape came in it, and in the video you can not only see the people who seem to have owned the camcorder, you also get to see their Christmas celebration, which was recorded probably with this machine, and you can see some of their kids opening another boxed version of the same thing. Of course, who knows where that one got to, but I'll bet there can't be too many of these left in this kind of shape anymore. And as I mentioned, it is complete. I have everything for it, even the battery, although the battery is a lead-acid battery and seems to be hopelessly sulfated at this point. I did get the original factory charger, which is really the reason I bought this, so I could power my own RCA VHS camcorder in case I got a desire to play with it again. The DC power lead here. That's the one thing that none of the aftermarket chargers I've had seem to offer, so it was nice to have that capability again. And a set of patch cables as well, so that was kind of a nice find. But then there's these other two camcorders. Let's have a look at them. Now, stuff like this almost never shows up at the thrift stores. When you find camcorders, like I was saying earlier, they're either the VHS types, the VHS-C types, or they're the really ancient ones that plugged into a VCR via a tether and might have offered battery operation capability. My dad had one of those back in the early 1980s, a Zenith with a detachable VCR. He had both a match set of the camera and the VCR, and when you wanted to go out and record with it, you detached the VCR from its base unit, slipped a nickel-cadmium battery pack onto the back, and then you took it out and recorded with it. Now, it was nothing particularly fancy, and the color rendition was pretty lousy, but I'll give it this. That thing lasted up until about 2001 or so, before the VCR mechanism finally just could not go on any longer. Playback had quit working long before that, but it still recorded perfectly, and then eventually the bearings went out in the video head. But the camera still works, and the camera is still around here somewhere. Most amazingly, the nickel-cadmium battery pack worked perfectly until the day the video recorder quit. So stuff like that, stuff like these does not show up very often in the thrift stores. But these are pretty decent little finds, a little bit dated, but they're video recording at a very gentle price. I did not pay very much for either one of these. This one came with some nice accessories, video and audio cable, a remote control. It actually has the original Sony batteries in it, and they're good. This remote actually works, or at least it's emitting infrared. It's pretty amazing. A video light that takes a battery that I did not get. I think it takes the same Sony battery that goes on the back of the camera. I got two of those, one with each camcorder. Unfortunately, I did not get the AC power supplies for these, and they were nowhere to be found in the thrift store, at least not anywhere that I could come up with. So my guess is that someone probably borrowed them, or maybe the proprietor of the store borrowed them before I ever got a chance. But both of these batteries, although they're far too weak to run the cameras that came with them, they do still have a faint charge in them, so I have hope that when my charger comes in, be able to get those to take some kind of a charge and play with them. This is the fancier of the two cameras. This is a Sony Video 8 8mm Handycam Vision, 30 times digital zoom, hi-fi stereo audio, and the laser link function. Also has an accessory shoe on top that you could mount something like this light to it, just exactly like that. Of course, I'd have to tighten it down for it to work properly. This loads the tape from the top. I'm kind of surprised. This thing was manufactured in, let's see here. This thing was manufactured in October of 1997. And I'm kind of surprised that it's not at least a high 8 machine. I would have thought the original Video 8 concept that debuted in the 1980s would have been feeling a little bit winded at this point. But this thing gives no indication of being a high 8 machine, so I don't think that it is. It's got a nice, big color LCD display that pivots out from the side. Got some adjustments and a speaker in there, as well as some basic video effects and a place for a CR2025 battery to keep the clock running. It does have steady shot, and it does support 16:9 widescreen recording, and of course there's a titling button over there too. Of the two cameras that I picked up, this one might just be a keeper. I'm going to see what happens if the battery takes a charge, and if this one happens to work. I haven't tried it yet. I will have to get my analog video capture PC working if I play with these, however. Other nice features. It's got a set of headphones. You can plug in a set of headphones to it and monitor your recording. There is also a place on this thing somewhere, there it is, for an outboard microphone, and it says it has plug-in power, so you could use a condenser microphone with it. This has some signs of use. The microphone grill's a little bit dented, but I think it'll work. I just wish I'd gotten the charger with it, but at least I got the remote, and I got the book for that one as well. So here's the other one. This one, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This one is a lot more basic. This is another Video 8 Handycam. Again, no high 8, nothing like that. Let's see, this one is actually a little bit older, having been manufactured in May of 1997. And it too is a Handycam Vision, Video 8, 26 times digital zoom. The little view screen that swings out of the side here is smaller and not quite as fancy. And of course you don't get as many neat buttons to push, and I don't think this thing supports 16:9 recording. It does, however, accept the remote control if you wanted to use that. Claims a minimum light sensitivity of 0.6 lux, which I'll have to see to believe, because it's not a bad figure, especially considering that neither of these are equipped with night shot. And it just has monophonic audio. If this one, I know this one works because I actually, while I was watching YouTube user Weasel2HTM's Blog TV music show last night, I was diddling around with this thing, and I learned a couple of things about Video 8 Handycams last night. I learned that they will eat Video 8 tapes if you don't give them enough battery power to operate from, and specifically that a pack of 4 AA batteries is not enough to give these things sufficient power to operate properly. In fact, they act like they've got a pretty bad case of the Looney Tunes or something. So I'm looking forward to getting my battery charger off of eBay, shooting some video with these things, and seeing what I think of it. But this one, I don't think I'll end up keeping this one because it's just nowhere near as nice a model, and frankly I really only need so many video cameras kicking around here anyway. I don't have any reason to start a whole menagerie of them, so this one, as soon as I've verified that, you know, it's completely functional and I'll throw in one of the batteries with it, I might just be throwing that out to eBay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Nice thing about these is you can't lose the lens cap. It's built in forevermore. And there, of course, is the admittedly rather well used, but still quite readable manual for the fancier of the two cameras. Oh, I should tell you the model numbers on them. This one is a CCD TRV 512, made to comply to the NTSC television standard that we have here in the US, as well as a few other places in the world. And this one is a simpler CCD TRV 12 model. Well, enough yakking about these things. Let's go back and see what the Keykeeper is doing with his Handycam. I would imagine he's probably getting in trouble with it about now. Now, what do you suppose the Keykeeper is doing Oh, look at this. He's walking around the living room testing out his new toy. You know, I've got a crazy idea to try something here. Yeah, two guys pointing Handycams at one another. Well, I suppose it's better than like two guys pointing guns at each other or something. But anyway,
bang.
You know, a lot of people happily point their camcorder at the television, and of course, visual feedback results. I've got another idea. Why don't you flip the LCD screen over on that thing? We're going to try a crazy experiment, and I don't know if this has ever been done before or not. Check this out. Watch out, if you get motion sick, this is not going to be good. I assume this thing will record upside down. Wow.
That's far
Well,
out.
that's not as exciting as I'd hoped for.
Hey, you don't get the cool telescoping effect as you do with the television.
Of course, they don't line up very well, but yep. There you have it. The Keykeeper is now the proud owner of a Handycam.
We'll be like with a cell phone.
Oh, that annoying zoom lens noise that it makes.
God, I hate that noise.
Well, there you have it, folks. We'll catch you later.
Hasta la vista.